Welcome back to another episode of the Rick and Danny Show. Great to have everyone listening. We have a treat today, a special guest for everyone. Danny,
Well,
how
that
you
sounds
been?
great, Rick. I've been well. I've been well. The beach's office is going really well. We're in our new Neptune Beach location. I think I highlighted that our last episode, but it's going very well. A lot of good feedback still. Patients are loving the new space, the bigger space, more windows, more light, near to the beach. Can't get any better than that.
They're not getting lost or anything like that.
Only a few,
Okay.
but we find them.
Well, now, how often do you can you guys take beach breaks or how does it work? Because now I'm just getting
No,
even more upset thinking about
we have
this.
not taken a beach break yet.
Okay.
Although I have personally with the family parked in the parking lot and
Oh,
walked over to the beach.
so you're just
Just
taking advantage of all the
utilizing the space.
privileges. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Got it.
So it's a pretty easy walk to the beach, and Neptune Beach is pretty quiet and pretty chill. So we're excited. We're excited. Do you want to introduce our guest here, Rick?
I can, but really, I think I want to let her introduce herself. Lauren is with us. She's a pharmacy intern. I want to make sure I get your
Yes.
title right.
Yes, technically. By
Uh,
state, I'm a pharmacy intern.
okay.
Okay.
And I mean, I'll just, not gonna lie, my ignorance on pharmacy schooling, education, rotations. Can you give us some of your background, how you ended up stuck with us at CSNF, and sort of where you are in your training and kind of what the next steps are for you?
Of course, yeah, I'm more than happy to. So again, my from the state, I am a pharmacy intern. That's what my license says. However, I'm also a pharmacy student. So you become a pharmacy intern during your first year of pharmacy school. Pharmacy school is a 4-year doctorate program, and you can follow that up with either first year residency, so a general residency, as well as a second year in specialty, or even go into fellowship or industry, depending on what your pathway is looking like. More importantly, here, I never had any experience in pharmacy until I started working here. So thank you, Ashley and Ernestine, for hiring me because it's been a huge opportunity. Coming into pharmacy school was not really unexpected for me. My dad's a pharmaceutical rep, so I kind of knew I've always liked pharmacy for the most part, but had no idea about oncology. I actually didn't think pharmacists existed outside of retail. I thought it was just Publix or CVS, so I had no idea there was anything else
I mean,
until
I feel like that's what most people think. I mean, that's they're the only pharmacists most people generally interact with. So,
Right.
exactly. I had
Yeah.
no idea until my first day of school, and they're like, "Yeah, you guys can work in a hospital." I'm like, "There's a pharmacist in the hospital? I didn't know that."
Yeah, it
So
is. It is
I didn't
interesting
know that.
when you get on, medical school, you're on
Mhm,
rounds, and then there's a pharmacist with you. It is kind of new, and
mhm,
you're not sure exactly the role, but I mean, extremely helpful. I mean, I
mhm.
thought our pharmacist on rounds was always extremely helpful and very knowledgeable, of course. So
I would say so as well.
yeah,
And UF College Pharmacy is really great about,
go
kind of
Gators.
Reynolds, actually. Sort of state from
Yeah,
her.
but where are you now?
Awkward.
But where are you now? Where are you doing your doctorate higher education?
Still go Knowles. I'm sorry, but did you watch the game this
who's
past
gonna have
week?
the better
Listen,
year?
I did. I listen. You guys definitely are a better team this year. There's no doubt about it. I'm just saying, go Gators. That's
True.
Okay.
very
Well,
ubiquitous.
disagreement,
You'll figure it out eventually. Stick around at the University of Florida long enough, and we'll change your minds. Maybe not your heart.
I don't know about that, but we'll see in the
Okay,
future. Okay.
fair.
College of Pharmacy though is really good about, like giving you a different pathway what you're looking for. So your first couple of weeks into it, they really kind of onboard you to different types of pharmacy and what to expect. And they hold like internship forums. So I don't know if you guys remember Lucy and Charles, they were old previous
Mhm.
pharmacy interns. They actually spoke at this internship forum and said they work at CSNF. Had no idea what this company was. And they made a Facebook post saying, "Hey guys, CSNF is hiring pharmacy interns. It's off of AC Skinner." I'm like, "Oh, I live right there." So that's a great opportunity to do that. And interviewed with Ernestine and Ashley, and then here I am now, 2 years later.
And is your pharmacy classes based on the Gainesville campus, Jacksonville campus, hybrid of both, or how does
So
that work?
technically, UF has three different campuses.
Okay,
Gainesville is their main campus. They also have Orlando and Jacksonville.
okay,
So I'm primarily here at the Jacksonville campus. So we're at
gotcha.
UF Health downtown. But we do kind of transition to the Gainesville campus every now and then, attending different seminars and different just organization things that we have to do.
Yeah, because I
I never
remember,
go to
I
Orlando.
just remember because when I was in med school there was a bunch of pharmacy folks around
Mhm,
locally in Gainesville, but that makes sense. They
mhm.
have their different campuses.
I will say Jacksonville is better than the Gainesville campus because we're
Uh-oh.
just, personally, I would say we're a smaller cohort. You get to see your professors all the
Feels
time.
like shots fired. I don't
A
know.
little bit, a little
Yeah.
bit, but I have to root for Jacksonville. So
Oh, I mean,
I mean,
We're biased, but yeah, because,
I'd
just in
rather
case
live in
anyone.
Jacksonville than Gainesville. I mean,
Where's the
come
Orlando
on.
campus?
Lake Nona.
Mm,
Yeah.
fancy.
It's very
The
nice.
new
Yeah, that's like known as fancy.
cool
Mhm.
With
place.
fancy pants. Anyway, we're talking about important things. Continue.
You're
Exactly.
totally fine. But again, pharmacy school is a 4-year doctorate, so your first 3 years are all didactic. And then each summer, so the end of your first year, you do a community rotation. So Publix, CVS, something like that. Even here, they offer a community rotation for specialty pharmacy. And then after your second year, you do a hospital rotation. So I just wrapped up my second year back in May, and so I did my hospital rotation back at home in Panama City.
Okay,
And then next year I go on my 4th year clinical rotations. It's known as your APPEs, that's what we call them. And it's 8 rotations, 6 weeks long each,
Hmm.
1 year pretty much.
gotcha.
So you rotate around like ambulatory, gen med, 2 electives can be ICU, oncology, peds, all that kind of stuff as well.
Mhm.
And how does it work? I know there's pharmacy residencies as
Mhm,
well too. And now is that for obviously specialized, but
mhm.
kind of can you walk us through who needs that, or what is the pathway for folks who do that
Mhm.
extra?
Of course, yeah. So it's really just personal preference. So a lot of people like to stick in retail because they know that everyone's going to need a retail pharmacist.
Mhm.
But as well, residency is very important. We definitely need those clinical pharmacists inside the hospital and outpatient as well. So you apply for residency at the end of your 4th year, or actually December of your 4th year pharmacy school. There is a PGY1 general residency, and then you can do PGY2 in specialty. So specifically, you'd have to do 2 years if you want to stay in oncology. There is a PGY2 in oncology right there.
Wow.
You could also
And
do a fellowship too.
and is that
Hmm.
to be like a pharmacist basically on an inpatient side
Mostly.
mostly? Okay.
Yeah, there's also
Do
yeah.
people that go retail do the general residency
Not
normally?
typically,
No,
not typically. So really, if you have an eye on residency, you have an eye for being an inpatient or
inpatient.
hospital.
Yeah.
It is a very competitive program, but I will say UF, here's a perk for UF. They do have a really good match
Oh,
rate.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Um,
Okay.
I didn't
Yeah,
say
it's
anything
just
actually.
uh,
You can edit that out. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
But there is a really good match rate for it. It's like 97%, I think, for UF. So
Mhm.
really wonderful for residency. Fellowship isn't really discussed though in pharmacy school that much. That's more industry route. So we'd never really discuss it, at least from what I've noticed.
when you say industry route, you
Mhm.
mean if you're going to industry, they want you to have these fellowships? And
Yes.
is it sort of like drug development kind of thing,
Drug
pathway?
development, medical science liaisons, that kind of stuff too.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
And did you say what your plans are, or is it too soon to tell,
I would say
or do you
again,
have to
this is
keep it
my
close to the vest for now?
That's fine. It's
Okay.
okay.
Hmm.
Again, this was my first main pharmacy job that I've ever had, and I never thought I would like hemonc ever, but I do. I love it. So that's my goal in mind is to apply to a residency program, complete a PGY1, and then do a PGY2 in oncology.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
mhm.
So we swayed hearts and minds.
Yeah,
Good.
Yes,
exactly.
There you
y'all
go.
did. Y'all
Nice.
did for
Nice.
sure.
Do the fellowships kind of uh, teach you or kind of, eh, I guess, direct you to the right people if you want to become a medical science liaison, if you want to do,
Mhm.
work for one of the big pharmaceutical companies? How do they kind of help you get there in fellowship?
So I would say it's all about the connections that you meet. So thankfully, in pharmacy school, there's tons of student
Hmm.
organizations. The main one that they have is IPHO. It's the Industry Pharmacist Opportunity or something like organization maybe. And so if you attend those meetings, they really do connect you with certain other industry people.
Right.
And to do a fellowship, you're primarily doing your research. So
Hmm.
reaching out to your professors on the Jacksonville campus, Gainesville, Orlando, or even just, talking to a pharmacist doing research for them.
Right.
It's a great way to get involved for it.
Hmm. Is your dad in oncology?
No, he's not. So his company does stuff for lupus nephritis, so rare
Okay.
drug.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's been a pharmaceutical rep for 30 plus years, I believe. So
Right.
long time. And then my mom is a medical transcriptionist. So I was
Hmm.
always going to stay in medical at some point.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
good.
It's good exposure to it at least at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
my knowledge of pharmacists before I went to medical school begin and end with CVS,
Retail.
Walgreens,
Yeah.
yeah, retail. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never worked in either of those. So the most I've done is my hospital rotation back at home here. And then I did a compounding pharmacy for my community rotation. That was
Mm.
really great. It was all non sterile, but definitely a very interesting opportunity to do and hands on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think the ICU rotations are real interesting, and I think that was where I found the pharmacist to be the most useful is as a
Mhm.
resident, really, using them for, dosing of vasopressors and,
Mhm.
all the antibiotics that we have to give in the ICU setting. It's very helpful to have someone on rounds with you,
We appreciate
and
that.
it's a great
I feel like they
asset
always
to
were
the
good
team.
about calling you out in a nice way.
Yeah, oh,
Being
for
like,
sure.
"Hey, you sure you want to give that with this in this situation
Some
because X, Y, and Z?" And you're like, "Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, let's
that's
switch it.
when you
Well,
pre-round with the
yeah,
pharmacist.
like,
That's
yeah,
when you pre-round with.
what would you suggest again in this situation? Because that's definitely what I would do."
And it's always about certain interactions too. Like people don't realize that there's an interaction with most medications,
Right.
whether it's minimal, moderate, or severe. And everything interacts with grapefruit. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I always feel bad like telling the patients I counsel that, hey, you can't have any grapefruit juice,
Mm-hmm.
especially those of the elderly population. They love their grapefruit. So you always gotta ask them to stay away from it if they can.
Grapefruit
Yeah.
always getting in the way.
I
Mhm.
remember the last time I bought one.
No, I don't think
I
I
don't think
ever
I've ever bought one.
have. Negative on that.
So we hear that you got involved in some research here with the pharmacy team. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. So I definitely have been involved in a lot of research since starting the company, whether it's Bob throwing me on random projects, or it's certain pharmacists asking me to do drug information questions. I definitely have had a lot of opportunities to get involved in research, which is pretty easy to do in a pharmacy school. You just
Mm,
ask your professors. But in this case, this is more focused on what I want to do whenever
mhm,
I graduate pharmacy school. So thankfully, I've had the opportunity to next month in October. I will be presenting with one of our other pharmacy interns here, Kelly, at Florida ASCO. So
mhm.
that's going to be the whole thing that I'll be doing. I think it's October 20th, maybe, down in Orlando. And then right after that, the week after, so Florida, Georgia weekend, I will be rooting for Georgia. I'm sorry. I'm
What
just
is
go
this?
dogs. Yeah,
Oh
see?
God,
I
gross.
don't understand why
No.
more conferences aren't in South Florida. Like, don't put it in Orlando, put it in Fort
It's always at
Lauderdale.
the Gaylord.
Like, come
It's
on,
always
man.
at the
Yeah,
Gaylord.
I think it's just usually it's the airport with Orlando,
Yeah,
easy in
I
and out
get it,
for
but
people. But,
Mm.
I mean, yeah, as a Florida person, Orlando.
yeah, no, I get it. Okay.
It's subpar. Subpar. It's a fun.
Dang, like
But
it.
I
Heat,
know, I know.
got
I'm
the
being
heat.
honest though. I'm
No,
being
it's good. You
honest.
are being honest.
So,
You're being
True.
honest,
so, but
despite
in
having
Coda,
wrong allegiances to teams. But other than that, yeah, you're doing great. No, continue. Yeah. So you're going to
I'll
Coda what?
remember that. Yes, I'm going to Encota
Okay.
in October. So I'm presenting with Kelly as well on myelofibrosis. So we're
Mm,
doing pharmacy impact on myelofibrosis patients. We've been doing the MPN scores for them for quite a while for
Yeah.
here.
nice.
So I've reached out to a couple of you physicians and asked, hey, we've completed this. Use it at your own review. Um, so that's really interesting to be on. And last spring, they actually sent us CSNF did to Encode in Indianapolis for our first major conference. So that was a huge opportunity. Got to watch a couple different pharmacists speak, a couple physicians, nurses, and everything. So great and full of connections.
Oh, yeah.
So can I get you on the record to commit to staying with us, right? Once you're done with all your training?
I
Or
mean, I
is
want to
that
do residency
right? Yeah, I
first.
know.
So
It's
maybe like two
negotiable.
years after
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, no,
negotiable.
I feel like it's we got you in, got you hooked. Now it's like we got to keep the recruitment going to keep you on the team when
I'm
you're
not
done.
gonna say yes or no at this time, but ask me again in like a year whenever I graduate pharmacy
Gonna
school.
run for politics. I'm not
I'm
She,
gonna
not
say
she,
running
yes
re-
or
for
no at this
politics.
time.
she
Wow,
No.
really
wow,
appreciates the opportunity,
wow.
right?
Yes,
And
and
will stay in close contact with
I
you
didn't
yes.
realize
in future
I didn't
conversations.
realize she moved so quickly, dodging that bullet.
No, I definitely love CSNF, and I tell everyone that, I meet in pharmacy school as well as like my parents and just other people I've met through connections that it really is such a great company and they are here to support you and build you in your career path. So I mean, I would love to stay at CSNF. You can put that on the record. That's fine.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
I would love to stay here, but I also have to think about residency opportunities too. So
Course,
just depending on,
of course.
do I want to do inpatient? Do I want to stay outpatient?
Totally
Mm,
understand.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to get you to commit on the
Well, that's
record.
okay. That's ask me again in a year
True, fair.
yeah.
Why would you root for Georgia if you're a Florida State fan?
because I'm never rooting for UF.
Oh, well,
Oh,
that's fine.
I
yeah.
can't. I literally cannot root for UF.
That's fair.
So,
My dog in his Georgia
oh my
game.
gosh. I love it.
OH? Anybody? OH?
You guys didn't look very good
Offense didn't look good. That looks good.
for playing nobody. It was not
Indiana.
wasn't very good.
Not
I mean, I will say
a
we
solid.
we crushed LSU this past weekend. So
You guys look good.
That was a great game.
And
Now
you
imagine how
guys,
good they'd be if Dion was your coach.
and you guys just played South Carolina. That was, just South
What was the
Carolina.
score? I'm not being a jerk. I actually don't know.
You know,
The
Florida State,
FSU score?
they won by like 3
No,
touchdowns.
Colorado score?
no, UF.
They lost by like 10 or 11, 14.
And FSU won 45-17.
Yeah.
Yeah. ACC, we're coming up.
Do you guys play Georgia?
We do not play Georgia.
You do not play
No,
Georgia.
we do not.
They don't play a real team again until Clemson.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for that. Thank
If
you.
you could
I mean,
say,
they play in
if
the
you
ACC.
can say Clemson's
Well, they
a real
play in the
team.
ACC.
They lost to Duke.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
Yeah,
they
they
get to
did.
play Duke. They get to play North Carolina,
Yeah, I gotcha.
Virginia.
Well,
Those
North
those
Carolina-
real historical football
Yeah, I know.
powerhouses.
Hey, at least we're doing better now. I went through 3 coaches throughout my undergrad. So we had Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
We had Mike Ravel, and then what was the other guy's name? I forgot it now.
Well, you
Willie
were,
Taggart. He was only there for like a year.
yeah, you might be too young, but were you there when Winston was there? Jameis Winston?
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, you're not that. Okay.
Mhm.
That's a good year. Jimbo years were good.
Yeah, they were good.
They won.
And then he left us. So,
See, I got spoiled because my freshman year at UF was national championship.
Mm.
And then we won basketball.
Mm.
And then won again as a junior. I was like, okay, this is not right.
That's pretty awesome.
Then it's all downhill.
yeah, but let me guess, he probably spent a lot of time in Tallahassee though too, because Tallahassee is the fun place to be at.
Went to Tallahassee a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Usually Florida State games.
Mm-hmm.
Never lost.
Okay, we'll leave it at that then.
What was that? The bars. What was that bar that's like? It was still there. It's like 5 bars in a row or something.
Oh, the Strip.
The
That's
Strip.
what it's called. Yep.
Yeah, that place was
Strip.
weird.
It is
Great
very weird.
time, but
Mhm.
and there's that other place where all the players go. It's like a 2-story.
Clyde's and Costello's probably. That's the only 2-story one. There's that and there's Recess. I
A
don't like
bar
that they
named
do it.
Recess
Mm-hmm.
in Ohio. In Ohio.
Yeah.
Miami of
Yeah.
Ohio. You know
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
You know that?
The real Miami of Ohio.
Ben Roethlisberger. Heard of him?
Good guy.
Role model.
Good role model.
Role model.
Good human being. Never made any personal discretion.
Couple Super Bowls for the wrong team. Steelers. He won a couple Super Bowls. Yeah, he won 2.
I don't know.
The 2? Probably
Yeah, he won 2.
I thought it was 1.
It's fact checked.
He might have
Okay.
been he might have
You
been
might
like
be right.
he might have been like a rookie or a second year when they won the Cower Super Bowl. That one was he still because he was just
I think he was young when he won the first. Yeah, he was like 2006 and 2009. The 2006 was real early. That was second year, I think, his second year. Because I started school. Yeah, was that his first year? That might have been his first year.
Always.
Just don't
Sorry, you can't
He
have
was
your
the
Snickers
youngest
Don't eat-
Super Bowl
don't eat
winning
it.
quarterback.
Don't eat
Third Snickers.
Youngest Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Excuse me.
I just pointed out that was his
You're the
second
guest-
stage.
You're the guest, not the judge. Okay, you're not here to judge.
Okay, but
You're not
I
here
mean,
to
we
judge.
brought you cupcakes. They're
Thank you.
really blue.
They
Yeah.
are.
Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Rick and Danny Show. We really appreciate it. And Lauren, thank you so much for taking the time to come chat with us and put up with our narc.
We appreciate you being on, Lauren. You gave us a lot of insight in what it's like to be a pharmacy student and an intern, and all about how to be a specialized pharmacist. We really appreciate you having
And
on the episode.
And I guess anyone listening, is there a way we can maybe link this show or something to future folks if they were interested in becoming a pharmacy intern here, things like that? Just so that way, follow the social media pages that Brenna allegedly is operating.
Oh yeah.
Big allegedly. Big allegedly.
So we'll go from there. But
Well,
thank you again.
I appreciate you guys having me. It really is an honor being on the Rick and Danny Show. I've heard some amazing things about it. So it really is an honor, and I do appreciate
All
you
lies.
laughing.
All lies.
You couldn't even get through that with a straight face. An honor.
I mean, it's an honor to be on the show. I literally said yesterday I want to be on the show.
Good.
So
And little did you know I would forward that to.
no way. Yeah, I had
It's
to.
amazing how fast it happened.
I had to move a lot of people, a lot of guests to
A
get
lot of
you on
heavy
here.
hitters.
Yep.
We had the Obamas,
He did.
Oprah,
Yep.
but
Mike Norvell. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
They understood. They got
yeah,
it.
they got it.
They got it.
I appreciate that. It's
Yeah.
just someone small like me in front of all of them. It
Yeah.
really is a big honor.
We
I think
care.
Trevor Lawrence. We bumped him
Yes.
too.
We
think,
did
You
right?
bumped Trevor Lawrence.
We did.
I'm gonna have to apologize to him now.
Yeah.
He's probably really upset.
Really.
Yeah.
He's not busy preparing for anything.
Mm-mm,
How
no.
much we care about CSNF and our interns.
Thank you for that.
Well, on that note, we'll we'll see you next time, guys.